course you do.
Again with Mr. Sanders.
Judge, can I take my 2 out of custody cases all here?
One more Sanders.
Why don't we do that? And then we will, Mr. Rare, that'd be good. Then we'll do yours after that.
Thank you.
Judge, on Mr. Sanders' case, he gave me some information yesterday that I'm not able to talk about publicly. However, I attempted to contact the person who's asked me to, and I wasn't able to this morning. When I leave here, I'm going to try again. Do you have, instead of just continuing in a full cycle, is there like a miscellaneous day in the near future? Or is there, if we get something worked out, can we move them up?
If you work something out, we'll transport him during the criminal jury trial.
Okay.
Okay.
So why don't we, just to keep track of it, just give me your next pretrial conference date, and we understand if we can get something worked out next week, we'll be in.
So, Mr. Sanders, I'm going to set your case for May 8th, but if you work out a plea agreement you want the court to hear that, we can see you next week or the week after that, okay? Thank you, sir.
So we get something figured out.
Thank you. Mr. Rare?
Judge, the next out of custody I have is Mr. Thomas Morgan. Mr. Morgan is present and approaching, Your Honor. We had about this for trial this cycle. I believe Mr. Pelham mentioned our last court date was the only week of availability we have this cycle is the week of April 3rd. So we'd like to go ahead and announce today we'd like to go set for that week. I've spoken to the state about that. But I'll have to leave it set.
So you wanted the second week?
Yes, Judge, that's their only availability this cycle.
How long will it take to trial? Including jury selection?
Probably not a pick and go in a single day with jury selection, probably a jury selection day and 1 day for trial.
The second week, we only have a 4-day work week. Just remember that. Okay, is there an offer from the state that the state intends to withdraw today, or Mr. Morgan doesn't accept it?
Your Honor, we're still in some negotiation with the defense counsel, so we would leave that out, any offer voter until Thursday, jury review, and then we will revoke the offer at jury review.
Okay. Mr. Morgan, I asked that because I want you to know as much as I know about it, at least preliminarily in your case. The state intends to withdraw whatever offer they've made to you on Thursday. If you don't accept it on Thursday, you've got to decide what's in your best interest, whether you accept it or not. If you don't decide it's in your best interest on Thursday, then we'll be going to trial 2 weeks from today. Thank you, sir. So I'll see you on Thursday at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
And last, Your Honor, I have is Mr. Joseph Rogers. His appearance is waived by the court for today. He's set for status. And what I'd like to do with Mr. Rogers' case, Judge, is just continue him out to the next week.
Okay. Yes, sir. It's continued until May 8th at 9 o'clock.
And that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. Mr. Patel?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir.
I've got 4 cases on the docket. The first one, Jay Patel and Tim Shaw on behalf of Rodrigo Aradello. Judge, we set this today for clear to continue. I got the state's formal offer. I have dispatched that to his immigration attorney. We need to see if ISO basically dismissed their case against him with an entry of this plea agreement. So I'd ask to set it for the next pretrial, and then we'd be looking to do a clear trial next month because it has to be resolved because the immigration hearing is July.
Okay. So it's set for May 8th at 9 o'clock, and and I did have trial next time.
Okay. The next one, Jake Patel on behalf of Benjamin Tran. Judge, if you can recall, Mr. Tran is in Mississippi, Department of Justice in Mississippi. I've spoken with Ms. Sandler. She is going to be getting, I think she's going to be getting with Ms. Davis to get me a hard offer, and then I can speak to him. If he wants to accept that, then Ms. Sandler will coordinate to get him available via Zoom to enter the plea. So we can set that for May, please.
I've communicated the offers that have come from above Ms. Sandler already. So where we're at with the case, we've made clear at this point.
I just got different information from Ms. Sandler last Friday. I don't really know what to say other than I'm doing the best that I can. I can't even file any motions. I can't file a C4 because he's got to sign off on it.
May 8th at 9.
Thank you. Next, Jake Patel and Tim Shaw on behalf of Brock Sutton. Judge, this was set for today so we could get our deposition dates. We have those dates were set for June 20th.
Good.
And finally,
So May 8th?
yes, Judge.
Yes.
Actually, Judge, it may make more sense to go one after, since the depots are June 20th, and it's not, I doubt it's gonna get resolved before the depots.
State one at July 10th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, July 10th.
And finally, Jake Patel on behalf of Sean McGonigal. Judge, you set it for today because I've had some issues determining, basically mixed signals on who is the victim who is here or in Texas. Mr. Gomez told me on Friday that they understand that his residence is in Texas. I'd ask to continue the case so I can get with his office to schedule a deposition and travel time to go to Texas.
Okay, it's continued until May 8th.
I have nothing further, maybe excuse.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Patel. Mr. Shaw.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Judge Tim Shaw for Marcus Lane, 22 CF 1994. We left this on for clear continuance and spoken with Mr. Gomez regarding the case. I think he wants to look at one more thing on the video. It should probably resolve on the next cycle. We put it on for May 8th. We can clear your trial next time.
Okay. Mr. Gomez, you agree?
Yes, Your Honor, but trial next time if we get it resolved.
Mr. Lane, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. If it's not resolved then, we'll set it for trial. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next case, excuse me, next case, Your Honor, is James David Mills, 22 CF 1987. The alleged victim in this case is represented by an attorney. That attorney and I met with Mr. Gomez last week. We anticipate a drop charge being filed on this case. If we put it on for May 8th, hopefully it'll be resolved.
Okay, so we need you to do it live? Okay. Mr. Shaw, are you aware of that?
I don't know.
So Mr. Mills' case is continued until May 8th at 9 o'clock, and he needs to be here live. No waiver shall be honored at that hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. And lastly, Judge Martha Sean Monk, 22 CF 1932. Ms. Monk may be on video. On
Ms.
Zoom.
Monk, are you on video?
She may or may not be, Judge. She's a
I don't
journey
see-
computer over in Panama City. We do have a resolution of the case. Mr. Flowers has primarily been handling this one. I spoke with Madam Clerk before Your Honor got on the bench this morning. If we can put it on for Thursday, late afternoon, if possible, because he has a deposition at 1:30. Do you think you'll be still here by about 3:30?
Yeah, yes, sir. I think so.
I'll have him here no later than 3:30. And if Ms. Monk can appear by Zoom, we'll have the plea agreement here.
Okay, good. And she will sign that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If it's not resolved Thursday, then we're going to trial next week.
That's good, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just 2:30 is good.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Durrell? Good morning, Mr. Durrell.
Good morning, Your Honor. Police Court, Destin Durrell. Your Honor, my first case today is Mr. Tyler Stewart, 22 CF 2108. Mr. Stewart. And Your Honor, it's my understanding that this, Mr. Stewart's case will be dismissed with cost at this time. Ms. Davis?
Yes, Judge, at this time, the state would announce a dismissal.
I believe the standard cost of $615, is that correct? Or just a dismissal? Even better, thank you.
Mr. Stewart, your case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, next I have Mr. Joshua Boberscheid. This is 22 CF 2589, and we do have a written plea if I may approach, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
To be claimed to be lesser included of misdemeanor marijuana and paraphernalia. The resisting will be an all cross.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wilbershide, if you'll raise your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You put your hand up. Mr. Wilbershide, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilbershide, I do accept your plea. Count 1 is dismissed. Count 2, adjudication is withheld to the lesser included offense of possession of marijuana under 20 grams. You're sentenced to 11 months, 29 days probation. You need to pay the court cost of $615, perform 20 hours of community service work. You may buy out that community service work. All of the seized items are forfeited. On count 3, you're sentenced to 1129, and that's concurrent, runs at the same time as count 2. So there's a $40 per month cost of supervision. Okay. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Probation?
Your Honor, is that JCS?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. JCS, so it's $50 a month is what JCS charges. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, probation.
Thank you. I believe that's all I have. On the excuse.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Drummond. Have a good week. Ms. Merrifield.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am.
The only case I have left on your docket is Jason Smith in 22 CF 3030. Mr. Smith is present and approaching.
And whose name is that?
It'll be under Mr. Flair.
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, we are still ready for trial.
Good. Okay. How many days will the trial?
We would anticipate jury selection for 1 day, trial for 1 day.
2 days.
Yes, Your Honor.
First week or second week of the state?
First week's fine, Judge.
And is there an offer that's open to Mr. Smith at this time?
Yes, Judge, it will remain open until jury review.
Okay. So, Mr. Smith, that means on Thursday, we're going to see you in the morning. If you don't accept the state's offer, if you don't find that it's in your best interest to accept it, then the state intends to withdraw that offer, and we'll be going to trial a week from today. Okay? So I'll see you on Thursday at 9. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I
Thanks,
have.
Ms. Merrifield. Mr. Switek. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Your Honor, I'm here on behalf of Arlo Steele in 22 CF 1849.
Yes, sir.
We have a plea accepted.
Good. Thank you, sir. So are these misdemeanors?
Yes. Count one would be no counts.
Okay, where does it have that in here? Defendant pleads no resisting an officer without violence. Okay, so that's two. And then other than but resisting arrest without violence is a felony, right?
No, without violence is a misdemeanor, Judge.
Good, okay, he was charged with violence.
He's going to get 1129 probation, but I'll be JC.
He was also have two infractions on the docket.
Two.
Merge and dismiss those, Judge.
One of them is a refusal.
Still going to merge and dismiss?
Yes, Judge, at this point.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. Mr. Schweitek, anything else?
That's it, Judge.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Let's see.
Good seeing you. Mr. Noakes?
This first case I've got is Michael Ladson.
Ladson all the way first.
Judge, on Mr. Ladson's case, 22 CFA 27, the state and I agreed to continue it. I spoke with Mr. Ladson, he understands what we're doing and why, so he's in agreement with continuance also.
Mr. Ladson, do you agree to continue?
Yes, sir.
What I've got down is trial next time, so that means if the state doesn't offer you something on May 8th, that's the next pretrial conference, then we'll be looking at going to trial that month, okay? So I'll see you on May 8th.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, that's all I have with the court tonight.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
John McLaughlin, she's present. I spoke with the state, agreed to leave this set for jury trial review, which is Thursday.
And, well, Mr. McLaughlin, good, how are you?
Good.
So trial first week or second week?
Judge, if it ends up going to trial, I think the second week would be better.
Okay, and how many days will it take to try, including jury selection?
But the jury's gonna have to, the state's gonna have to decide which case it wants to try first, and et cetera. I don't know if we try them all, there's three of them. I think we try them all the same week.
Mr. Gomez? Which case do you intend to try?
21 CF 3183 will be the one that we would intend to try. We do anticipate a resolution, but that would be the one that we anticipate to try if we need to. And that would only, I would think that it would be a day and then also jury selection, so.
So 2 days.
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin, it sounds like that both of the attorneys think it's gonna work out. If it doesn't, I can't make anybody, I can't make the state offer you something, I can't make you accept it, but I can make everybody go to trial. So that's what I will be looking at. If it's not resolved on Thursday, we'll be going to trial 2 weeks later, 2 weeks from today. Okay? So I'll see you on Thursday at 9.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
What day of April is that, Judge?
April 3rd is the second.
That's fine, I'll look. 2 weeks from today.
Oh, March 27th and April 3rd.
April 3rd?
Okay, thank you. Next case I have is Kevin McNamara. Judge, I've met with Mr. McNamara several times and spoke with his mother. There's some information that I'm going to have to get from Katie Chiquette. I think I talked to her over the weekend. She may or may not have seen it, but I'm tracking down some information that his mother has shared with me about a lease and what have you for the alleged property in question. I think it needs to be continued, and if we can get it resolved earlier, we'll certainly bring it back.
Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. McNamara, do you agree to the continuance?
Can I ask for a bond?
Mr. Noakes can file a motion for a bond. Yes, sir. So I'll see you back here no later than May 8th, but if Mr. Noakes files a motion for a bond, I'll see you at that time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Then David Pope. You told Mr. Pope he didn't have to be here, Judge.
Yes. We were talking about the victim's medical condition and depositions.
Unfortunately, I was not. I was pretty busy last week. Was not able to get up to the victim. If we could just have a one-cycle continuance, we can charge to the state. We do anticipate that it will be resolved before that date.
Mr. Noakes, any objection?
No objection, Judge.
So May 8th.
Javier Sabio. Judge, Mr. Sabio, we asked you to continue.
Okay. Mr. Sabio, do you understand what Mr. Noakes is doing on the case?
Yes, sir.
You agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here no later than May 8th. Okay?
Okay, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Judge, I believe that's all I've got.
Thanks, Mr. Noakes. Mr. McCaviges.
Your Honor. Justin McCovers for the record, on behalf of Jamie Medina Fernandez. That's case number 22 CF 2391. Ms. Fernandez. I have a written plea agreement here as to misdemeanor. I don't think it's necessarily stuff out last time.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, please. Clerk, if you will swear in the interpreter. Thank you.
Do you agree to accurately translate from English into Spanish, from Spanish to English on matters for the court?
I do.
Ms. Medina Fernandez. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hands on. Was the plea agreement read to you?
Yes.
Do you understand it?
Yes.
Do you agree to it?
Yes.
So basically, if I accept your plea, what will you be sentenced to?
Probation.
Okay, for how long?
I believe it's 12 months each charge.
So it'll be a total of 2 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. McCaviges, do you wish for, since these are juveniles, do you want probation to do it? Or do you want, and tell me the acronym again?
JCS.
JCS.
I don't have a preference on that, Your Honor.
Okay. Seems like a lot of defense attorneys like JCS doing it. Mr. McKinney, do you want to? Do you have a preference?
JCS is definitely my preference, Your Honor.
Okay. So Ms. Medina Fernandez, you're sentenced to the terms that are in your plea agreement, so you're on probation for a total of 2 years, and you'll need to contact JCS, which is a probation provider. Okay? Thank you, Your
Yes.
Thank you.
Honor.
Adjudication with help.
Yes, ma'am. No.
And Your Honor, for the record, State did file amended information on 314, so count 1 would be a lesser included.
Thank you. Yes, sir. What else?
The next case I have is State of Florida versus Julio La Chapelle Castillo.
Yes, sir.
He is present. Julio? Your Honor, the state has informed me that they're willing to refer Mr. Lester Castillo to pretrial intervention on a lesser included misdemeanor criminal mischief. We don't have the paperwork for that yet, but my understanding from talking with Mr. Gomez is that if he sends me that paperwork and we sign it, that we could set this for the jury review and that would fall off the docket if we file that pretrial intervention agreement.
Is that what you wish to do? Do you want to set it for Thursday, or do you
Well,
want to just continue with the cycle?
If you would be so inclined to continue it, I would have no objection to that. I just know that with cases that were set for clear trial,
That's a good
I know you kind of wanted to make sure that it gets resolved. So I have no issue with setting it on Thursday. I'm going to get him the PTI either this afternoon or tomorrow morning. And then I told him, he was mainly worried about the defendant having to show up. We were really just waiting on some restitution matters to get resolved. And so once we got that, it'll be, I just want to email to him to send him the PTI. And once they get it signed, we can file it. It'll fall off the docket for Thursday.
Okay. And I appreciate that, Mr. Gomez. I appreciate you looking out for the kids pre-trial. So is it going to be practical to do it on Thursday?
I can get that done, yes, sir.
So, Mr. Castillo, I'll see you back here on Thursday at 9 o'clock. It sounds like that you're going to have a diversion program, pre-trial intervention, goes around this court. And so if you successfully do those terms that are in pre-trial, then your case will be dismissed. If it's not resolved by Thursday, then I'll be asking to set it for trial next week or the week after that. So I'll see you on Thursday. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Okay, and is that correct that if we do get that filed,
You get it filed, then you don't have to.
we don't have to show up Thursday?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I have nothing further.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Donovan.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Your Honor, the first case I have on the docket is Gregory Mullenhour, 22 CF 3025. Judge, should we set here to continue? If we can continue them to May 8th, I believe we have a PTI worked out. We just need to get the paperwork done.
Okay. Yes, sir, it's continued until May 8th.
Your Honor, the next case I have is Kimberly Roy, 22 CF 2543. We also have an agreement in place for her. I think it's
May I have that piece on that?
22 CF 2543.
She may still be under Mr. McKinney's name on the document.
And what was the name?
Kimberly Roy. It's R-O-Y-E.
I don't have no here.
Should we set for May?
Okay, well, Judge, can we move her up for an early plea in April? I don't know if it's April 10th or the 13th, whichever morning docket.
All right, if it's a plea, if you want to do it, let's do it April 13th
April 13th.
at 9 o'clock.
That'll work, Judge.
And then it's already set for May 8th.
Thank you, Judge, that's all I have.
Thanks, Mr. Garner.
Have a good day.
You too. Mr. Catalano?
Thank you.
Morning, sir.
You want to review the minutes right now?
I'm sorry?
You do any minutes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'd like to call Mr. Martin McGregor first.
McGregor. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Catalano?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, on case number 22 CF 2967, that will be a plea.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, it will be a plea to a withhold of adjudication and 2 years of probation, $618 in both costs. May I approach?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. McGregor, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can put your hand out. Mr. McGregor, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, I did.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Catalano, if you could please ask Mr. McGregor to sign it if he agrees to it.
I apologize, Judge. Mr. McGregor, I told you you were going to sign this, and I apologize. You have a pen. Mr. McGregor? Again, Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, Mr. McGregor, adjudication is withheld. You're sentenced to 2 years probation. All monetary assessments mandated by statute or county ordinance are imposed. That's the court cost. There's a $40 per month cost of supervision. And I wish you the best, Mr. McGregor. Thank you, sir.
Check that, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor, the next case that I have is Mr. Akeem Lovelace, Lovelace. He's here present, 22 CF 2394. That'll be a plea, Your Honor.
Hello, Mr. Lovelace. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Your Honor, it should be a plea to a withhold of adjudication and 2 years probation. just gave it to you.
I don't know.
You don't?
No, we didn't do it. I just.
Is that it there?
Yeah, it's another place from Scott.
Mr. McGregor. Mr. Lovelace, you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand up. So, Mr. Lovelace, my understanding is that you wish to plead to a withhold of adjudication as charged. You'd be sentenced to 2 years probation. You'd have to pay the court costs, $40 per month cost of supervision. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you'll be waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for the court or your attorney in the state?
No, sir.
Mr. Lovelace, I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You're sentenced to 2 years probation. You need to pay the $40 per month cost of supervision and the court cost. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
No.
I'll follow it up, Your Honor.
That's okay. You're fine.
Okay.
Mr. Cadillac, who's next?
Mr. Morales?
Good morning, sir.
Your Honor, Randy Catalytic on behalf of Mr. Juan Morales Santiago in case number 22 CF420. Your Honor, he will be pleading to count 1 as charged. Counts 2 and 3 will be dismissed. On count 1, he would be adjudicated guilty. He would be sentenced to 2 years to the Department of Corrections, followed by 5 years of sex offender probation. He would be designated a sexual offender. And all the statutory requirements with that, the GPS, no unsupervised contact with minors. He would have to forfeit all his seized devices, $515 in court costs, $151 crimes against minors, $100 cost of prosecution, credit for all time served, and no, what's that last one?
Internet capable devices.
That's it, Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, sir. Mr. Morales Santiago, if you please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. Mr. Morales Santiago, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you ever been treated for any mental illness or emotional disturbance, or are you suffering from any of those at this time?
No.
How far did you go in school?
9th grade, high school.
Did you read the plea agreement?
Yes.
Can you read English?
Little bit.
Did you have time to go through the written plea agreement with an interpreter? Do you understand? Did you discuss it with your attorney? Did he answer all of your questions? Are you satisfied with his representation? Did you sign the plea agreement? Mr. Gomez, do you wish to sign this? I'm sorry.
You got me nervous, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Mr. Morales Santiago, I do accept your plea. Counts 2 and 3 are dismissed. You're adjudicated guilty of count 1. You're sentenced to 2 years with the Department of Corrections with credit for all time served. That's followed by 5 years of sex offender probation. You'll be designated as a sexual offender. You'll have all the probationary terms that are required for that. You'll need to wear a GPS monitor. Have no unsupervised contact between minors. You'll need to pay the $151 crimes against minors. You'll have no internet-capable devices. All devices that were seized are forfeited. Anything that I missed for Mr. Morales Santiago?
No, Your Honor, we'll submit a sex offender order to the court.
Yes, ma'am.
GPS on the dollar a day?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Morales Santiago, you do have 30 days to appeal this judgment and sentence. If you wish to appeal, it must be in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney to represent you for that appeal, one may be appointed for you. Do you understand your appellate rights? Thank you, sir. Score sheet, Ms. Fairley?
So we'll attach that, please.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
All right, just one moment, Your Honor.
Ellen, do you have a score sheet for Mr. Morales Santiago?
I don't, Judge.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, who's next, Mr. Allen?
Ms. Babcock, BABCOCK 22CT2834. Your Honor, this is going to be a plea subpoena.
Babcock, if you'll please raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Babcock, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign it?
I did.
Okay, if you could state to sign it, Mr. Catalan. And for the private attorneys that are on Zoom, I've got 2 more privates that signed up. I'll do y'all on Zoom, and then I'll take the other private attorneys that are in the gallery.
Judge, to be clear, the plea agreement, it has, at the top it says defendant, and where it said currently charged with, she's currently charged with a felony possession of a controlled substance. So I changed it to say defendant pleas, because she's pleading to a misdemeanor paraphernalia.
Okay.
So it doesn't list her actual
Mr.
charge
Catalan, if
on
you'll
that.
show Ms. Babcock that and ask her to initial it if she agrees to it.
Right here.
Thank you. Easy. Ms. Babcock, so you're adjudicated guilty of the misdemeanor possession of paraphernalia. You're sentenced to credit for time served. You'll need to pay the $275 in court costs. How long do you want to pay for that?
I can pay it today.
Okay, I'll say 30 days, okay?
Okay.
If you fail to pay it within 30 days, then it goes to a civil lien or judgment. Okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The money will not be in the case today to pay.
Ms. Babcock, you won't be able to go to the clerk's office because they won't have the minutes.
Okay.
So wait until tomorrow to do that.
Okay.
Good, thank you, ma'am.
Last case that I have, Your Honor, is Orlando Burley,
Yes.
Burleigh. Case number 21, CF 2327.
Well, Mr. Burley.
Judge, we still don't have an agreement on this case. If the court would give us some time today, I think I could possibly work it out by the end of
Mr. Burley, last time we were here a week ago, I said plea or trial. So that's what I'm looking to do, is either have a trial 2 weeks from, either 1 week from today or 2 weeks from today. So I'll see you back here on Thursday at 9 o'clock. If it's not resolved then we'll be going to trial one of those next 2 weeks, okay?
And not resolved, what do you?
If the state offers you a plea, if they offer you something in a plea agreement that you want to accept, or if the state dismisses the case, I need something that ends the case, whether it's a jury trial, whether it's you entering a plea, whether it's the case, the state dismissing the case. So,
I'm the victim.
Okay. Then we're probably going to trial. If you think you're the victim and the state thinks that you're a defendant, then we're probably going to have to let the jury figure it out. But I'll see you Thursday at 9 o'clock. Is there an offer from the state that the state intends to withdraw on Thursday? If
We're in talks right now because it seems like there may have been an offer given by another prosecutor that I don't have in my file, so we're trying to figure it out. But whatever offer that we come up with will be open until Thursday.
Okay. So, Mr. Burley, that means if it's not resolved Thursday, we're going to trial. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Judge.
Okay. Next is Mr. Stevens. Oh, Mr. Stevens. Good morning, sir.
First case I have on the docket is Tyran Claiborne in 21 CF 2647. He's an inmate. This is the case, Judge. We left it set for today for the court to sign.
Mr. Claiborne in the back. Let's wait for it.
This is Mr. Claiborne in 21 CF 2647. Judge, we had set this case for today to allow the court to sign my order on the motion of withdrawal. I followed up with your office last week, but we still don't have the order.
When did you provide that to me?
2 weeks ago. And then I emailed Ms. Fott last week, and she said it'd be done by Friday, and I still haven't seen it.
Okay. What is the reason for the motion to withdraw?
It exceeds the scope of my contract with Jason.
I did see some of those, and I signed those last week. I don't have anything left in my queue as of the end of last week. I did see one or two of those that you signed, I think. So I do grant your motion to withdraw.
You have been in contact with your JA regarding the...
Okay. So there just has to be somebody that qualifies that can represent Mr. Claiborne. Do we have, and I don't know of that list, how do we know who that's going to be?
Well, based on our list, they are sort of specifically to different types of charges. And she was provided Jason Cobb.
Mr. Cobb, okay. So, Mr. Claiborne, what I'll do is I'll see you back here on Thursday because I want to make sure that you get with Mr. Cobb, okay? So the clerk will notify Mr. Cobb of the hearing?
As soon as we receive the order appointing him, yes, sir.
Okay,
We will
how about I just appoint him?
Okay.
Okay, so you'll just put it on the minute sheet,
Yes, sir.
and we don't have to wait for a piece of paper. Mr. Claiborne, I just want to make sure that you got an attorney, okay?
Yeah, Your Honor, I was trying to figure out about my bond.
Yes, sir.
Because my charge got dropped, so I'm just wondering, I was just trying to see if about the reinstation, because
Okay.
my charge got dropped.
The charge was dropped?
No, I'm talking about the charge that I was, not discharged, the charge that was holding me from getting a bond.
Getting a bond, okay.
Yes,
His
it
bond was
dropped.
revoked for a misdemeanor, I believe.
Yeah,
and
that
misdemeanor
dropped.
was dismissed.
Okay. To the state, will you be up to speed for that on Thursday?
No, Judge, I have to get in contact with the victim's family and inform them and give them the opportunity to be heard, and I've got too much on my plate with trials coming up to do that right now.
So Mr. Cobb will need to file a motion.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Claiborne, I'll see you on Thursday. Talk to Mr. Cobb about filing that motion, okay? Thank you, sir. I understand your argument, though.
Next one is Malik Humphreys, 21 CF 1758 and 1760. He is also inmate.
Any other inmates?
Kaylin Jones and Malik Humphreys.
And I'll take care of the
And I have out of custody, would like
Please.
to take those. The first out of custody I have is Roy Pate in 22 CF 3183. Mr. Pate is present and approaching. We do have a resolution. His case in 22 CF 3183 is a 3-count information. The sentence will be concurrent among all 3 counts. He will plead as charged. He'll be adjudicated guilty, being given credit for time served, $615 in court costs, legal assistance fee, and the defendant will have 180 days to pay all fines and costs. I can approach.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Pate, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Pate, did you read the plea agreement?
I did.
Do you understand? Did you sign it?
I did.
Mr. Pate, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty. You're sentenced to credit for time served. You'll need to pay the court costs, $150 public assistance fee. If you fail to pay those within 180 days from today, then they will go to a civil lien or judgment.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Right over here.
And Your Honor, for the record, this is the plea bargain. Humphreys.
Thank you, sir.
Judge, this is Malik Humphreys in 21 CF 1758 and 1760. We also have a plea agreement to resolve all counts in all cases. In 1758,
I'm sorry, who is this?
Malik Humphreys.
Thank you.
In 1758, counts 1, 2, and 3 will be a plea as charged. In count 1, he'll be adjudicated guilty, $515 in court costs, legal assistance fee, 13.95 months Department of Corrections. Counts 2 and 3 will be credit for time served. In 1760, count 1 will be the plea, the lesser included of fleeing and attempting to elude, which is Florida Statute 316, 1935, subsection 2. He will be adjudicated guilty, $615 in court costs, legal assistance fee, 1 year driver's license suspension, 13.95 months Department of Corrections. Count 2 will be his plea as charged, adjudication of guilt, 13.95 months Department of Corrections. All DOC time is run concurrent with each other and with any other sentence the defendant is currently serving, and the defendant shall be awarded jail credit from July 13th of 2021 to the present day. So essentially he has all the credit already in. If I can approach.
Yes, sir. Mr. Humphreys, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Humphreys, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Humphreys, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty in each case and count. You're sentenced to time served on counts 2 and 3 in 21 CF 1758 to the lesser included offense in count 1 of 21 CF 1760. You're sentenced to 0.95 months with the Department of Corrections with credit for all time served, and that's to run concurrently, run at the same time in each case and count. It's also to run, the credit for time served is from July 13th, 2021, and that's to run concurrently with any other sentence that you're serving now. You have a 1-year driver's license suspension, total of $250 public assistance fee. All monetary assessments mandated by statute or county ordinance are imposed. That's the court costs on the 2 cases. Mr. Stevens, does Mr. Humphries just want those outstanding financials to go to a judgment now?
If he could have 180 days after his release, I think he's got to go to Georgia after this, but that should give him time.
So, Mr. Humphries, if you fail to pay them the monetary amounts within 180 days from your release from prison here, then they will go to a civil lien or judgment.
All right.
Okay? Thank you, sir.
Mr. Humphries, right over here. Next, I have Jones.
Thank you.
So this is Kalen Jones in 22 CF 1135. Like Mr. Claiborne's case, this is another one where the motion withdrawal has been filed. I just wait on the order. I did inform Ms. Falk that Mr. Noakes and Mr. Keach would also have conflicts based on co-defendant representation, so it would need to come outside the case.
Okay. This is Mr. Jones, Kalen Jones, 22 CF 1135. The question is, who's the next person that can handle a homicide case? What attorney?
This is a capital charge.
Well, it's homicide.
It's not a death penalty case. Just,
It is not.
If that's what you mean by capital.
if that's what you want.
Okay, Mr. Keach.
It can't be Mr. Keach.
He's got a
He's not a
conflict.
co-defendant, and so does Mr. Noakes.
Stephen Niddle.
Middle. Mr. Jones, what I'll do is I'll see you back here on Thursday. They'll get word to your new attorney, Mr. Niddle, and we'll make sure that he's here where you can meet him, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I'll see you on Thursday. Your underlying case is continued until May 8th, but again, I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you, sir. Charlotte, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Mm-hmm.
You have to say it
Yes,
verbally.
yes, sir.
Okay. Did you sign it?
Yes.
Ms. Yarrow, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty. You're sentenced to credit for time served. You'll need to pay the court cost and the $150 public defender's fee. How long do you want to pay for that?
You know, she is on disability, and Ms. Yarrow, if you'll recall from the pre-trial, is the young lady who just got out of the hospital. So if we could just give her a year to pay those.
Okay, good, Ms. Yarrow. So if you don't pay the financials within 1 year from today, then they will go to a civil lien or judgment.
Okay.
I hope you feel better. I can tell you don't feel good. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. She'll fingerprint you and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Your Honor, finally, I have Natasha Zespa in 22 CF 1534 and 23 CF 145. Ms. Zespa is present and approaching. Your Honor, we did at the end of last week get a motion to dismiss filed in the 23 CF 145 case. I would be willing to bet the state has not had an opportunity to review that yet. So if at this time I just ask to continue both of these cases, give the state the opportunity to review that motion, and then we can work towards a resolution for the May 8th docket.
Okay. Ms. Espa, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
You understand what Ms. Jacob just stated and what she's doing on your case?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here no later than May 8th at 9 o'clock. Thank you, ma'am.
And Your Honor, other than Mr. Malot's plea agreement that I need to go bring back, that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, on Zoom, Mr. Johnson, Ronald Johnson. Mr. Johnson, if you'll unmute your microphone, I'll ask you to do that. And if you'll also move your camera down a hair, I just see your eyes and up. Mr. Johnson, I think we can hear you if you talk. Mr. Johnson, if you're saying anything, we can't hear you. And again, I can't see your mouth. I can just see from your eyes up. Now you're muted again, Mr. Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry. I just muted you. That was my fault. Okay, one more time. There you go. Mr. Johnson, can you talk? Perfect. We can hear you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Doing well. Who do you represent, Mr. Johnson?
I represent Blake Martin, case number 21 CF 1559.
Yes, sir. What do you wish to do on that? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Martin's on Zoom, and I have been informed by Ms. Bergman that she would like to move to continue the case.
Yes, Judge. Based on the rulings last week, I spoke with Mr. Johnson this morning over email. He doesn't intend to call two of his witnesses based on the order, but still does intend to call Dr. Zeman. So based on that, we would ask for one continuance in order to depose the single defense witness still left on their list.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, do you object to that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Martin, I am going to continue your case for one cycle, but we will be looking at going to trial at the end of May. So I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Okay, Mr. Martin?
I need to physically be there, sir?
No, sir, you don't have to physically be here that day, but if it's going to go to trial, then I want to see you on the docket day and the pretrial day. Well, not pretrial, the jury review day. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Martin lives in Louisiana. Would the court allow him to appear by Zoom, or does he need to travel over for that pretrial?
Okay. Mr. Martin, let me revamp what I just stated. You don't have to appear live for the pretrial on the 8th. You don't have to appear live on May 15th, the docket day, but I would want you here live on May 18th, the jury review, because then we'll be looking at going to trial that next week, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Judge, what are the trial dates for May?
They're May 22nd and June 5th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Do you have anybody else, Mr. Johnson?
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Skavaski. Mr. Skavaski, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I just had to get unmuted. Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes, sir, I can. I had stopped your video before. It was blinking around. If you want to try to start it again, we'll see what happens.
It's fine, sir. If you don't mind, you can hear me, that's good enough.
I can. Yes, sir. Mr. Skavaski.
Yes, sir, I'm here on behalf of Susan Shelton, case 2019 CF 3175. We were before the court of the state and I on the pretrial conference day. This case had been somewhat abated because of the consent to have the matter heard first by the Department of Health, or at least the administrative hearing officer related to a complaint filed with the Department of Health. In any case, as I indicated at the pretrial conference, the trial of that administrative complaint had been continued from December as a result of an amendment to the allegations. It had not yet been referred back to the Division of Administrative Hearing Officers for the purposes of scheduling the hearing. I spoke with the prosecuting attorney for the Department of Health, and once again, it's just not scheduled yet. The state had at one point in time consented to having that matter resolved there first, but as indicated, they wished to put the matter on the trial document. I understand that, Your Honor. We asked them that consider scheduling this trial, affect your trial weeks, and because of the facts that have been debated, there are some things that are necessary to be accomplished that haven't been accomplished as it relates to the criminal case. I think that July 24th, the week of, would be the date that I would request the court schedule this, because I believe it's going to be at least 4 days, could be an entire week, but that's inclusive of jury selection.
Okay, to the state at 2-month continuance?
Judge, as long as we have it hard set for the week of July 24th, then I don't necessarily have a problem with that.
Okay. So, Mr. Skavaski, I'll see you on the pretrial date, which is July 10th at 9 o'clock, and then we'll be looking at going to trial on July 24th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, I've got some defendants that aren't represented by attorneys, so I'll call those next.
I apologize, that was 2 cycles.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, we can make sure that we have in the minutes that we're requesting the July 24th week for jury trial.
Yes, ma'am. Seth Violet, 21 CF 2459. Seth Michael Violet. I don't see Mr. Violet. What is the case? What does the state see?
Capious, Judge.
Capious will be issued to Mr. Violet. That means they'll arrest Mr. Violet, bring him before the court. First appearance judge will determine an amount of a bond, if any. So we appreciate y'all being here. Next is Roosevelt Peterson. Roosevelt Peterson, who's relating to a PTI. A capious will be issued for Mr. Peterson, and the first appearance judge will determine the bond. Paris Lee Pryor, 23 CF 95. Hello, Mr. Pryor. I'm doing well. So, Mr. Pryor, refresh my memory on why you're not represented by an attorney.
Jeff Earl was my attorney. He called, said he was ill this morning, and let you know he'll be working. I had his phone number.
Okay.
He's my side documentation now. He just filed
Okay,
later.
has Mr. Erwood filed a notice of appearance? It's 23 CF 95. Okay. Mr. Pryor, I'll see you back here on Thursday at 9 o'clock. You need to tell Mr. Erwood he needs to at least file a notice of appearance.
Okay.
And he can appear at that hearing via Zoom, but I need to know he's on your case.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to continue the underlying case until May 8th, but I'll see you on Thursday at 9.
So come in Thursday?
Yes, sir, correct. Okay, thank you. Taj Smith, I think it's Taj Anthony Smith, 22 CF 2468. I don't see Mr. Smith. What does the state seek?
Capious, Judge.
Capious will be issued for Mr. Smith. And the first appearance judge will determine the bond. The last pro se I have is William Wayne Watson, 22 CF 1064. Mr. Watson, that's neat. You have 3 W's. Does the state have an offer for Mr. Watson?
Judge, this is the case that he had a private attorney that withdrew last week. So at this point, we had been doing discovery work, we had depositions done, we've been discussing the major issue in the case with the amount of restitution. So.
Okay. Mr. Watson, do you want me to appoint a public defender if you qualify financially?
I have to do something, yes, sir. But the reason I don't have any more is I paid her $5,000 in advance, and I owe her $2,000 still. I just haven't had a chance. And I lost my job because of this. So my primary job I lost. So I have a secondary job I'm still doing, but.
Okay, so how much money have you averaged making? Well, when did you lose your job?
I lost it in December because of
okay. So since
I've owed her since December, yes, sir.
How much money do you make? How much money did you make in the month of January and February?
I probably make $4,000, but my rents are. I have a charter boat and I have a house, and that's $3,000 in just rent. So
yes,
yeah, that's.
I doubt you're going to qualify. They don't. It goes by what you gross, not what your expenses
are. It's just, I mean, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
Okay. Well, you're going to be representing yourself. You know, if you can't hire an attorney, because I don't think you can fill out a financial affidavit.
I'll make too much money.
Okay. So do we want to continue Mr. Watson's case one time, or what does the state wish to do?
Yes, Judge, we can continue at once.
Okay. So, Mr. Watson, one of the things that the rules require me to do is take control of my docket and move the cases forward. So I can't just let cases languish around. So I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. If you've got an attorney, get that attorney here, get them in touch with the state sooner than later. If you don't, then you'll be representing yourself. I'll be saying, why don't we set it for May 22nd, you know, for a trial? Because that's the only thing I can do is make everybody go to trial. So I'll see you May 8th at 9.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Yeah, we have Madam Interpreter here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Teresa, what cases are you on?
I have several, Your Honor. I have Hernandez Soto with Mr. McKinney. He's an inmate.
Okay. Do you have any folks that are out of custody?
I do.
Why don't we do those two first?
We're going to call Posada, Honduras, Antonio. Tiene que dejar su virtual.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Posada, Honduras, and 21 CF 3195. We have reached an agreement to resolve this case. The agreement calls for Mr. Posada, Honduras, to enter a no contest plea to the lesser included offense of disorderly conduct. He will be placed on 1 year of probation, which will be supervised by JCS. He will have no violent contact with Gloria Lainez. Madam Clerk, that's spelled Lainez. He will submit to a substance abuse evaluation and any recommended outpatient treatment. As a condition of probation, he will complete anger management classes. He'll be assessed misdemeanor battery, just regular misdemeanor court costs, $150 in public defender fees. There is a withhold of adjudication. And I have discussed with Mr. Posada Honduras the fact that this plea, you should expect it to have immigration consequences. If it doesn't, great, but he is a resident of Honduras. So,
Yes, sir.
and the plea has been read to Mr. Posada Honduras by an interpreter.
Thank you, sir.
And there's no scorecard required.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Posada Honduras, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand up. Mr. Posada Honduras, did you understand everything that Mr. Klein stated today on the record?
Yes.
Do you agree to that sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand that you're waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Posada Honduras, I'm not a federal court, I'm a state court. So I don't handle immigration matters. But the Florida Appellate Court has told me that I need to state that the entering of this plea shall subject you to deportation. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I used to say it may subject you to deportation, but the appellate court said I'm not supposed to say that anymore. I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You're sentenced to 1 year probation, and that will be with JCS. You'll have no violent contact with Ms. Lainez. You'll need to submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days from today. Begin any treatment if it's recommended within 60 days from today. Enter and successfully complete the anger management course. You'll need to pay the court cost, the $150 public defender's fee, and the JCS fee per month is $50. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
And, Your Honor, so the court's aware, I have given Mr. Posada Honduras a business card for JCS with his case number on it and an instruction to call them Wednesday or Thursday of this week to give them time to get the paperwork filed out.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be Sarmiento Chacon Haide.
Can you repeat the name, please?
Jason McKinney for Mr. Hider Sarmiento Chacon, 22 CF 2678. Judge, this is on Your Honor's trial docket. We remain ready for trial.
Okay.
Judge, is this Tanya Smith? Tanya Smith? Judge, we had sent a subpoena for Ms. Smith to appear before court today. At this point, we've had no involvement from Ms. Smith in the case, and based on that, we would announce a dismissal.
Mr. Chacon, based on that, your case is dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Since we've been working more than an hour and a half, we'll take a 10-minute recess, and then we'll come back and finish up the morning.
All rise, please.
Court took recess 10 minutes.
Maybe I can let you in on a little secret. Did you know we're open on Sundays? Yeah, since February, probably one of the best kept secrets in Crestview, we're open on Sundays from 10 until 3 p.m.
Congratulations, Dixie Dan Powell, for your recent induction into the National Trial Lawyers Top 100. The National Trial Lawyers Top 100 is an organization celebrating premier trial lawyers from across the country who meet stringent qualifications as civil and/or criminal defense lawyers.
At Powell, Powell & Powell, we are a family of lawyers working together as a team for our clients. For more information, visit us online today at www.powelllawfirm.com.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office on North Verdon Boulevard for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
Hi, I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
Back Home Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview's historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
He has reached an agreement with the state to resolve this case. At this time, Mr. Lozano Soto would be pleading no contest on count 1 to the lesser included offense of resisting an officer without violence. He will plead as charged on count 2, which is no valid driver's license. Count 3 is false name to law enforcement. That would be Noel Frost. The agreed upon disposition for counts 1 and 2 is that Mr. Soto would be sentenced to time served. He would be adjudicated of the misdemeanors. He'd be assessed, I believe these are correct, $320 in court costs, $150 public defender fees, and the state would take no action on any failure to appear in this case. I did go over the plea form with him yesterday at the jail. I personally read him all of the rights that he is giving up by entering this plea, and I personally instructed him that the court is going to instruct him or tell him that he shall be subject to deportation proceedings. If it doesn't happen, great, but that's the language the court wants to use.
Mr. Lozano Soto, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. So let me start where Mr. Klein's left off. I'm a state judge. I'm not a federal judge. So I'm not in charge of immigration. I used to tell defendants, similar to you, that do you understand that the entering of this plea may subject you to deportation? But later I've read appellate cases that tell me I'm supposed to tell you, do you understand that the entering of this plea shall subject you to deportation? So do you understand that? Do you understand that you're waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for the court, Mr. Klein's, or the state?
No, sir.
Do you agree with everything that Mr. Klein stated today on the record?
Yes.
I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty of the misdemeanors. That's counts 1 of the lesser included offense, 2 as charged, count 3 is dismissed. You're sentenced to credit for time served. All monetary assessments mandated by statute or county ordinance are imposed. That's the court cost. And there's a $150 public defender's fee.
On his behalf, Your Honor, I would ask the court to give Mr. Lozano Soto 6 months to pay the court costs. I do believe he has a valid driver's license from the state of New Mexico now, so I want to give him a chance to try to pay that.
If you don't pay the monetary amounts that I just ordered within 6 months from today, then they will go to a civil lien or judgment. Thank you, sir.
Next is Hernandez Soto.
Jason McKinney on behalf of Wilfredo Hernandez Soto, case number 19 CF505. Judge, he's executing a written plea agreement at this time that has been read to him in full by an interpreter. The agreement calls for a plea of no contest as charged. The agreement is a withhold of adjudication, $515 in court cost, $150 cost of defense. the state would take no action on any FTA. And we would ask that the monetary amounts go to collections. May I approach?
Yes, sir. Mr. Hernandez Soto, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Hernandez Soto, did you understand everything that Mr. McKinney just stated today on the record?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree to that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're waiving the right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez Soto, I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You'll need to pay the court costs and the $150 public defender's fee. If you fail to pay those, I'm sorry, how long did you ask for? Oh, you said go to a judgment.
Correct.
Mr. Hernandez Soto, those outstanding financials will go to a civil lien or judgment. Thank you, sir.
That is all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good seeing you, ma'am.
Likewise.
Thank you. Mr. McKinney, do you want to call your folks that are, or Mr. Hines, either one of y'all that are in the gallery?
Judge, may I call Tim Robbins?
Mr. Robbins.
Mr. Robbins is approaching in 23 CF 41, followed by Mr. Sargent. Mr. Robbins is in a position, this is plea or continue on the docket. We have made progress towards locating the victim. We do need to continue the matter to set the deposition. So I would ask for a continuance to the 5/8 court date.
Okay. Do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Robert Sargent. Judge, Mr. Sargent is before the court in 22 CF 2645, 22 CF 3041, and felony violation of probation 20 CF 2715. And Judge, we had discussed on the record last time we were in court that there is a report from Dr. McDonald. That was formally filed not until this morning. I did send a courtesy copy to the state so that they could review it. It does find Mr. Sargent incompetent to proceed, but recommends conditional placement. I would request a continuance so that we can turn back around and set a competency hearing after we get on firmer ground, because I need to know whether or not we need a second evaluation for APD, if they're going to waive that as they've done in the past. So there are still moving pieces before we move right into a competency hearing today that I would seek to follow up on.
Okay, to the state.
I don't have any issue with that, Judge.
Mr. Sargent, are you okay continuing your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Jeffrey Scott, followed by Isaiah Soto. Jeffrey Scott is approaching 22 CF 2980. Judge, we had attempted to enter a plea on pretrial for Mr. Scott and found out that count 2 of DUI had been moved into this court, and we're trying to figure out the moving pieces of where we go from here, because it alters our agreement with a count 2 misdemeanor. I'm going to request a continuance to the May 8th court date. I am working with Ms. Davis to see if we can get this matter resolved. We could always add this onto an earlier court date. We have count 1, the felony, an agreement. Count 2 that we learned about on pretrial that they moved into this case number is something we still have to discuss.
Okay, and I know we talked about plea or trial to the state.
Judge, to be clear about this, the issue becomes he's also got misdemeanor cases going on, so that's where it's a complication, because depending on where that goes, it changes what we do with the DUI in this case.
Okay.
So we're just stuck in a hard place right now, Judge.
Mr. Scott, do you agree to the continuance? Yes, sir. I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Stay in touch with Mr. McKinney.
Judge, as soon as we get the moving pieces sorted out, then we'll add Mr. Scott back for an early plea.
Good. Thanks, Mr. Scott.
Isaiah Soto, followed by Rashawn Starks. Mr. Soto is approaching in 23 CF 124. We had hoped to accomplish a PTI for Mr. Soto. We still need the paperwork for that, so I'd ask for a control date of May 8th.
Mr. Soto, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9. Hopefully you can put something together before that, because we may have 300 or 400 defendants that day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rashawn Starks. Mr. Starks is approaching in 22 CF 2924.
Hello, Mr. Starks.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Judge, we announce this case plea for trial. We are ready for trial.
Okay. State, are you ready for trial? Mr. Starks.
We had subpoenaed the victim for today, Miss Nabby Shelton.
Miss Nabby Shelton.
Judge, I don't anticipate going to trial on this case. We have not had contact from our victim. I would prefer to keep this case set though for Thursday because I don't have a return on the subpoena. We had subpoenaed her for today, but I don't know for sure whether she was served with the subpoena. My expectation is we will have to announce a dismissal, but I do have another witness that is available on the case as well, so that's why I can't dismiss it right now.
Okay, so you want Mr. Starks back here on Thursday, and and you still may want to go to trial?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And there's no offer to Mr. Starks that you intend to withdraw if he doesn't accept it?
No, Judge, not today.
Okay, but you'll withdraw it on Thursday?
Yes, Judge.
If you don't dismiss the case. Mr. Starks, two extremes. Possible plea agreement, trial. So stay in touch with Mr. McKinney, and I'll see you on Thursday at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Abigail Talkington, followed by Sharon Winfrey.
Ms. Talkington.
Judge, Ms. Talkington is present before the court in 22 CF 2013. We are attempting to work out a deferred prosecution agreement for Ms. Talkington. We need a control date as we don't have that signed at this point. We are in negotiations with the state. If we do not reach a resolution by May 8th, then we will be ready for trial at that time.
Okay. Ms. Talkington, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You understand what Mr. McKinney's doing on your case?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. If it's not resolved then we'll be going to trial.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Sharon Winfrey. Judge, this is Mr. Sharon Winfrey before the court in 22 CF 3016. We do need to still complete depositions in the matter. Ms. Winfrey has provided me updated contact information. I'm going to request a continuance until the May 8th court date.
Okay. Ms. Winfrey, do you understand what Mr. McKinney's doing on your case?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
You okay, Ms. Winfrey, or you and Amy?
I'm just covering my face because I'm just not, we're moving, and so we've been tore ourselves in pieces besides what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Yes, sir. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, ma'am. You too. Stay in touch with Mr. McKinney.
I sure will.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Judge, I have one more. I apologize.
Okay.
Jericho Hilliard.
Jericho Hilliard. Mr. Kleins, I'm going to usurp you since I've got private counsel.
Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Judge, Mr. Hilliard is before the court in 20 CF 1657. This is a DPA recall, and the outstanding condition is $615 in court costs. Mr. Hilliard is now working and thinks that he may be able to pay off those amounts by the time we get to the May 8th court date if we're allowed a continuance.
Okay. Mr. Hilliard, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. If it's not resolved then I'll be looking at going to trial, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Payments to the clerk of the court on the first floor. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Madden? Yes, sir.
John Madden, here on behalf of Preston Outson, 22 CF 2742. Your Honor, we set this for plea to continue today. Me and the state attorney, Mr. Gomez, have had multiple conversations since the last court date. We think we are moving towards getting this case resolved, and so we just asked to move this to the next cycle in order to do so.
Okay. Is it going to go to trial if it's not resolved?
Yes. The next cycle, yes, Your Honor, it will. I think we're going to get it resolved, but if not, then yes, sir, we will go to trial.
Okay. So continue trial next time. So I'll see you back here on May 8th.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Dudley?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am.
One client on the docket, Travis McLemore, 22 CF 1881, 22 CF 1164, 21 CF 3225, and 20 CF 3237. We were set today for status. We were waiting to see if the state had an update on the digital evidence in one of the cases.
And yes, Your Honor, I actually got an email at 7:41 this morning from one of the investigators. It says zip drive that I think is everything that we're requesting. I just need to have time to review that and get it over to Ms. Dudley, but I do believe that we do have everything for this case.
Okay. All right. So we set for May 8th, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mitchell, boy, trying to read your handwriting, I was deciphering.
I deserve that. We're here for Mr. Schnur. I can't speak too much to his absence other than to say this. I understand how it looks. The court will recall last time I was here, I showed the court, it looks like a wristband that the gentleman was in the hospital. The Assistant State Attorney has told us that there might be a warrant forthcoming when we were for another charge. When we were in the courtroom the other day, the court looked at the clerk and asked, and the clerk said, no, there is no warrant. It looks like this guy has learned that there might be a warrant, and he's too afraid to come to court, which isn't okay, but it is a mitigator. I don't know why he's not here right now. I'm asking that you not issue a warrant.
Judge, state is asking for a capias for Mr. Schnur.
Capias will be issued for Mr. Schnur, and the first appearance judge will determine the bond. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Next is Mr. Powell. Mr. Dixie Powell, signed first.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir.
Dixie Dan Powell on behalf of DeAndre Lovelace. We had filed a motion to suppress in the case, but we since this morning got an agreement with the state. I'd like to set a day. I didn't have him here because he's got a waiver, and I didn't think we were going to plead today.
Okay. You want to do it on Thursday?
I'll make that work, I think. Can I check real quick?
Sure. Yes, sir.
We're caught up in tort reform right now, so everything's in shambles. That's good, Judge.
Okay, so 9 o'clock on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sounds good. See you then. Thank you.
See you then.
That'd be great. Now, Bo Powell.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Powell.
First matter I have is Bryce Wessels. He's an inmate. And Judge, the state and I are very close to a resolution, but there is an outstanding restitution issue, and it looks like we are going to have to take some depositions. And so I'm asking for continuance. The state's not objecting. We should be able to bring it in for landing next cycle.
Mr. Wessels, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
You understand what Mr. Powell's doing on your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll see you back here no later than May 8th. But if you want to enter a plea with the state before that, Mr. Powell can set it for next week or the week after that. Okay? Thank you, sir. And Just, who came on the iPhone? Just want to make sure that I didn't issue a case for that. So whoever's on Zoom on the iPhone, will you identify yourself? Nope, don't hear anybody on the iPhone. Yes, Mr. Powell?
Just next matter I have is Brandon Lemieux.
Yes, sir.
And we were set basically today for status. We previously held the state's motion to transfer division hearing, and we're just set for status on that.
Okay.
We're just waiting for an order from Your Honor.
And I think that I signed that maybe Thursday night late. You have transferred that? 22 CF 1856.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will double check, but I believe that I signed that last week. So just continue at one cycle, but I'll make sure that that order's entered.
Very good, Judge.
Okay.
I presume we would get a new, if you granted that motion, I presume we'd just wait for a new court date
Yes,
for
sir.
Judge Ketchell's.
Right. For ours, we'll just continue it until May 8th. But I will check at lunchtime on the transfer. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. And last matter I have is Joshua Little. He's present and approaching. We have a negotiated plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
If I can approach.
Please. Mr. Little, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Little, did you read the plea agreement?
I did.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
I did.
Mr. Little, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty of count 1. You're sentenced to 24 months probation. You'll need to perform 50 hours of community service work. You may buy that out. You'll need to submit to, well, it just says successfully complete. Okay. You'll need to submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days from today. If any treatment's recommended, begin that within 60 days from today. You'll need to pay the court costs and the the $40 per month cost of supervision. Good luck to you, Mr. Little.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Probation.
Were you court appointed?
I was not. That's all I had this morning, Judge. Have a good day.
Thanks, Mr. Powell. You too. Okay, now, Mr. Pines or Ms. Jacob, you
Sorry, Judge, I just had that.
Right.
On William Malott in 22 CF 2469, was able to go and print that written plea agreement. The agreement is to null cross the first count 1 and to sentence him to time served on count 2 as charged, adjudicated guilty, $300 in court costs, and $100 cost of defense. If I may approach?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I use them in order, so I hope that was okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
so much.
Please, Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Is there a spreadsheet attached to that?
I'm sorry?
Is there a spreadsheet attached to that?
There's not.
Okay, I'll make sure you get that this one.
Thank you.
Is that from Malott?
Your Honor, I'm just going to call people that I know are here.
Okay, and if you know the folks on Zoom, you
Do you want me to do them first?
whatever you want to do.
Let me get the people out.
Okay, good.
First, I'll call Jacob Cameron.
Mr. Hammond?
Cameron, that's C-A-M-M-A. And that'll be followed by Jerry Lawson. And Your Honor, this is Mr. Cameron. The state's offered Mr. Cameron a pay and dismiss. He went to the clerk's office last week and the clerk wouldn't accept any payments from him. So we just need direction from the court how to make these payments so we can get this dismissed. But Madam Clerk may be able to help.
Was it announced in court to be able to pay? Like the court?
It was briefly announced. I did remember saying it was going to be a quick pay or dismiss. So if Madam Clerk can send an email downstairs, he's prepared to make that payment today and come back up with a receipt. Yeah, you should
How
be.
much are the costs?
So it's going to be $515 in court costs,
Okay.
and then $605.01 for the cost of the investigation to the Department of Financial Services.
So I'll put this in myself.
Okay. So probably not 5 minutes.
And then what about the public defender fee?
Your Honor, on it's a PTI essentially. So I know Mr. Cameron's trying to move, and so we're going to go ahead and scratch the public defender fee.
Okay, so you're withdrawing?
Yes, Your Honor. If the court will allow me to withdraw.
I do grant your motion to withdraw and waiving the application fee also.
Well, the application was turned in by myself, so that would stay.
So
it still has to be a $50 application fee.
So $515, $605.01, and $50. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, they shouldn't wait till come back upstairs with a receipt. And once we show proof of that, we should be able to. So yeah, and just come in and get my attention.
Send it down? Okay, so you just need to go down and tell one of the clerks, you just received a minute sheet on my case, give them your case number, you know what it is?
It's on my phone.
Here.
21 CF 2277.
2277.
Thank you, sir. See you in a little bit.
Yeah, come back up.
Next, I have Jerry Lawson, be filed by Brian Magelet. Mr. Lawson is present and approaching, Your Honor.
We had left him on for a possible chance to see if we could get a negotiated sentence. I don't think the state's in a position to do that just yet. We're still waiting on the FDLE, I believe. So I would ask for a one-cycle continuance. If we do get this goes for any case that I have on today's docket. Any early resolutions, they would be advanced in the April docket.
Yes, sir. Mr. Lawson, I'll see you back here no later than May 8th at 9 o'clock. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next will be Brian Magelet, followed by Eric McLean.
Oh, Mr. Magelet. Good, how are you?
Your Honor, we were trying to see if the state would be in a position. They've offered pretrial intervention. We are negotiating some of the specific terms that the state has put on this agreement. I talked to Mr. Gomez, and he's going to have to talk to supervisors to see if they would agree to this. So I would ask support to put this on the May 8th docket as a control date. But if we get a yes or a no, if we can file this early, we will.
Yes, sir. Okay. Mr. Magelet, I'll see you back here no later than May 8th at 9. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
As soon as I know something, I'll let you know.
After Eric McLean is Seth McDonald.
This is Mr. McLean, Your Honor. The court had asked Mr. McLean to be present today. He wasn't in court last week. I can't tell the court he did come to court on Tuesday, the 14th. So he was here. We do need to have a chance to go over the depositions that have been taken in this case with Mr. McLean. So I would ask the court for a one-cycle continuance, but I have instructed Mr. McLean that my intent would be to set this for trial next cycle if there is no resolution.
Mr. McLean, thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that you stay in touch with Mr. Kleins, and I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. If it's not resolved then we'll be looking at going to trial.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
After Mr. McDonald will be Mateo McKinnon.
This is Seth McDonald, Your Honor. We have an agreement with the state to resolve this case. At this time, Mr. McDonald, on counts 1 and 2, would be entering no contest plea to the lesser included offenses of simple possessions of controlled substances. He'll plead as charged on count 3. The state will agree to 3 years of probation on counts 1 and 2. Time served on count 3. The special conditions of supervision will be that he do a substance abuse evaluation and any recommended treatment. He'll be assessed $610 in court costs, $150 in public defender fees, and the state would agree to a withhold of adjudication.
Okay.
May I approach?
Yes, sir. Mr. McDonald, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McDonald, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. McDonald, I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You're sentenced to 3 years probation on count 1 and 2, time served on count 3. You'll need to submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days from today.
Yes, sir.
And begin any treatment if it's recommended within 60 days from today.
Okay.
You'll need to pay the court costs, the $150 public defender's fee, and the $40 per month cost of supervision.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Good luck.
Next will be Mateo McKinnon, followed by Terrence Merritt. And this is Mr. McKinnon, Your Honor. He was announced plea or trial. I talked with Mr. Gomez. Mr. Gomez would like to leave this on for the Thursday docket to see if he can make contact with the alleged victim in the case. So if we just leave Mr. McKinnon on for the 23rd.
Okay. So, Mr. McKinnon, I'll see you back here on Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Are we sure this was set for plea or trial, or was this, I had a I'll defer to you.
Here's the situation, Your Honor. I'm going to be going out of town tomorrow for a family vacation. And so I don't want to burden Mr. McKinney with too many cases on Thursday's docket. I'm the one who set these cases for trial. I thought this was announced plea or trial. I don't recall.
I didn't have it that way on my docket.
Then I'm okay if the state wants to continue this to try to contact.
I would request that we intend to continue.
Mr. McKinnon, are you okay with continuing your case?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This is Terrence Merritt, followed by Laura Miller.
Mr. Merritt.
We attempted to take depositions of one of the witnesses in, I believe, the 1450 case in late February. He didn't show up. I had left Mr. Merritt on today's docket to see if we needed a resolution. The state has offered Mr. Merritt to plead to simple possessions of controlled substance. He's interested in truck driver school, and so I've got to talk with the state about that. I would ask for a one-cycle continuance, but I have informed Mr. Merritt that I intend to set the case that I have all the depositions done for trial if we don't get a resolution by next cycle.
Okay. Mr. Merritt, I'll see you on May 8th at 9 o'clock. We'll be looking at going to trial at the end of that month if it doesn't resolve before then. Thank you, sir.
Next, I have Laura Miller, followed by Christian Moore. And this is Miss Miller, Your Honor, and she was announced plea or trial.
She was.
The state has extended a PTI offer to her. I don't have the paperwork yet. I expect to get it in the next day or two. I would ask the court to continue the case to the May 8th docket as a control date, but as soon as we get this paperwork, we're going to get it filed.
Okay. Ms. Miller, you intend to accept the diversion, the pretrial intervention?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock if all that paperwork's not done by then. Okay?
Thank you.
I'll give it to you soon. But I'm going to ask you soon. You should get it this week. Yeah. This is Christian Moore, and then after that it'll be Ralph Neely. Your Honor, Mr. Moore was not in court last week, and the court did give us time to get Mr. Moore here. There is going to be a motion to suppress. Most likely it's going to be filed at 22 CF 1830. I need to look at trespass case law, and so I would ask court for a one-cycle continuance, but I expect to get that motion filed within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Assuming I'm not slandering charges.
Yes, sir. Mr. Moore, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock unless Mr. Klein sets a motion hearing before that, then I'll see you then.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next will be Ralph Neely, followed by Alan Oliver. Mr. Neely is present. He was announced plea or continue. He did give me some information this morning that I need to look at. And we did some depositions a couple of weeks ago, and while we were doing the depositions, we learned of 2 new witnesses that may be located in Atlanta. So I would ask the court for a one-cycle continuance to see if we can make those depositions happen. I'll be fine with doing that by Sunday. Yeah.
Mr. Neely, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
You understand what Mr. Kleins is doing in your cases?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Thank you, sir.
This is Alan Oliver, followed by Gavin Olson. Your Honor, we had filed a reciprocal discovery last week. I don't know if the state's had a chance to look at that. This case is really new. It's less than two months old, I think. So I would ask the court for a one-cycle continuance here.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Oliver, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next, I have Gavin Olson, followed by Arnold Pennell.
Your Honor, this time, based on a showing of the proper driver's license and the insurance, we're announcing a dismissal of this case.
Mr. Olson, your case is dismissed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next will be Arnold Pennell, followed by Christian Perry. Your Honor, this is Mr. Pennell. The state is going to agree to a pretrial intervention agreement for Mr. Pennell. He lives in Georgia, and I've already talked to probation about the fact that he can do this remotely. So I was just informed by Ms. Veras that we would need photocopies of his driver's license, which I have in the file. So I would ask the court, even though this was on the trial docket, to leave this on for the May 8th docket. And I've already informed Mr. Pennell I'm going to mail him old-fashioned letter with the agreement and a cover letter and a self-addressed stamped envelope to send it back to us. So I would ask the court to leave this on the May 8th docket as a control date, but I expect this to all be done in the next week or two.
Okay. Mr. Pennell, you agree with what Mr. Klimes just stated?
Yes.
Okay. I'll see you back here. If it's not all wrapped up by May 8th, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Okay?
But if you get everything taken care of, you don't have to come back.
Okay. Hey.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Sounds like a deal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Keep it on. Next will be Christian Perry, followed by Robert Phillips. This is Mr. Perry, Your Honor. He has reached an agreement to resolve this case. At this time, Mr. Perry would enter a no contest plea on counts 3 and 4 as charged. In exchange for the plea, count 1 would be null prost. There would be a no contest plea on count 2. It's the lesser included offense of petty theft. Mr. Perry is going to be placed on 2 years of regular probation. The only special condition is that he'll have no violent contact with Nicole May, and that's M-A-I. He would be adjudicated, be assessed court costs, $150 in public defender fees. And just so the court and probation is aware, Mr. Perry intends to start the discretionary transfer application process as soon as he can to see if he can move out of state. So, may I approach?
Yes, sir. Mr. Perry, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Perry, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Or agreement, singular? Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Perry, I do accept your plea. Count 1 is dismissed. You're adjudicated guilty of the lesser included offense on count 2 as charged in 3 and 4. You're sentenced to 2 years probation. That'll run concurrently, run at the same time. You'll have no violent contact with Miss May. You'll need to pay the $150 public defender's fee, the court cost, the $40 per month cost of supervision. If you transfer your supervision to another state, it may be a different amount. Make sure before you leave that you get the okay from probation here, okay? They'll need to get that paperwork from you. Okay? Thank you, sir.
But he was just asking, Your Honor, he's been on a GPS monitor, and he was asking, can this come off? That was a condition of bond.
Absolutely, yes, sir, because that wasn't a condition of your probation.
So talk to probation, before you leave the courthouse, talk to pretrial services with the guys.
Mr. Perry.
They're going to have to take your fingerprints. Next, I have Robert Phillips, followed by Thomas Kluth. This is Mr. Phillips, Your Honor, and we have reached an agreement with the state to resolve this. At this time, Mr. Phillips would enter a no contest plea as charged.
I'm sorry, first name?
Robert.
Okay, thank you.
The no contest plea would be on counts 1 and 3. The state would null pros count 2. Mr. Phillips would be placed on 2 years of probation. Special conditions would be that he would complete anger management classes. The court will reserve jurisdiction for 120 days to determine the appropriate amount of restitution. I believe he'd be assessed $967 in court costs, $150 in public defender fees. There would be a withhold of adjudication. And for probation's benefit, Mr. Phillips is a resident of Alabama and was a It's fine. He was a resident of Alabama at the time, and he's a current resident of Alabama. So that's going to be a mandatory transfer, but you have to report today, probation here. Okay. May I approach with the plea?
Yes, sir. Mr. Phillips, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Phillips, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Phillips, I do accept your plea. Count 2 is dismissed. Adjudication is withheld in counts 1 and 3. You're sentenced to 2 years probation. That's to run concurrently, run at the same time. You need to enter the anger management course and successfully complete that. The court does award restitution but reserves jurisdiction to determine the amount of that restitution. The state files a petition or a motion within 180 days from today.
Yes, sir.
You'll need to pay the court costs, $150 public defender's fee, $40 per month cost of supervision. Court has no objection to you transferring your supervision to Alabama. Just make sure that you get the okay from probation here before you leave,
yes,
and they may charge you a different amount per month.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Next will be Thomas Pluth. The last one I have in the gallery would be Benjamin Lee.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Pluth. He was announced plea or trial. However, between last Monday and this Monday, I talked with Ms. Barrickman, and the state would consider a downward departure offer if we depose a particular witness in this case. This individual's name is Keith Swanson, and Mr. Pluth has absolutely no problem trying to get that deposition taken so that we can potentially get a much better offer here. The current offer is a DOC sentence. So Mr. Pluth is going to be asking for a one-cycle continuance. I've already talked to Ms. Barrickman and said, I will move mountains to make this deposition happen before the May 8th date. I don't want this to be a case of the depots are in June, and now we need a continuance. So I would ask support for a one-cycle continuance. We've already talked about putting this deposition on a date that we already have set with other depositions. So that's the purpose for the request today, is to see if the state would be willing to consider a downward departure or offer, I should say.
And you know where Mr. Swanson is?
I have a phone number for him. He lives in the bar, and so we're just going to have to get probably our investigator to go out there and serve the subpoena for him.
Okay. Mr. Pluth, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes.
I've got, just in bold on my trial, because of the unique circumstances that Mr. Hines stated, I will continue your case until May 8th at 9 o'clock. But I'll be looking at going to trial at the end of that month. Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, I'll call you as soon as we take it. And then I have last in the gallery, Your Honor, is Mr. Benjamin Lee. Mr. Lee was the individual that the court granted a furlough to. I don't know Mr. Gomez.
Your Honor, I'm sure he just stepped out.
Oh, perfect time. This is Mr. Benjamin Lee. In speaking with Mr. Lee this morning, I know he intends to ask the court to extend this furlough. I don't know the reasons why. Mr. Lee would like to address the court. If the court wants to take this under oath, so this is evidence, I don't have a problem with that.
Yes, sir. If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand on what you want me to know, Mr. Lee.
Your Honor, on behalf of my family and myself included, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to grieve with the family and spend time with them. By me being the only heir, Your Honor, and my father's insurance policy, I'm the only one, the beneficiary and the only heir, and my family can't sign off on none of it without me. And also, my father inherited the property he left me. It's been things taken off his property, and my father worked all his life, and my aunts, they up in age. They can't physically move all the stuff that's on this property. I just need more time, Your Honor, before I can move everything for them and put it in storage and sign the paperwork for the insurance policy and also for the properties.
To the state, any questions for Mr. Lee?
How much time would you be requesting to get all of that done?
Friday be more than enough time, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
The state wouldn't have an objection. I think we would request. I've never really been in this situation. Is there some sort of mechanism that we can have, like maybe where he calls and checks in every day until Friday to pre-trial services or something of that nature?
I'm not aware of that, since he's held in the jail.
Well, I would have no objection to extending the furlough until Friday.
Mr. Lee, it means a lot for you coming to the court. You know, you're coming when you need to appear.
Yes, sir.
And that means a lot. Mr. Lee, do you still have family in town?
Yes, it's in Crayford, Florida, Your Honor.
Okay. Any family come in from out of town?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are they still here or did they leave?
A lot of them left back to New Orleans and Alabama.
Okay. Mr. Lee, you'll need to appear back in the Okaloosa County Jail no later than noon on Sunday. Okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
So this comes up the 26th.
26th.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And thank you again, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. So when will I see Mr. Lee back here?
I was going to ask to continue these to the 5-8 docket.
Okay. So I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock, but make sure you go back to the jail on noon on Sunday. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Judge, may I call Destin Rakowicki?
Sure. All right, whoever's in the gallery or whoever the folks in the gallery are waiting for, if you'll call. Can you find out if they're waiting for inmates? If we can call those. Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
We don't have anyone upstairs.
Okay, well, if they can figure out who it is.
Judge, Mr. Rakowicki is here in 22 CF 2979. This should be on the docket, plea or continue. And we're going to request a continuance to complete depositions. We were not able to resolve it today.
Okay, give me one moment. Got it. Yes, sir, I do have that. Mr. Rakowicki, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Make sure you stay in touch with Mr. McKinney, okay?
Yes, sir.
Somebody bring you here?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Thank you, sir.
They're all waiting inmates.
Okay, do you know who they are? Do we want to call them?
Phyllis?
Phillips? Can you get him upstairs before noon or by 12:30? Okay, who else other than
Parker Stewart?
And we also have the folks on Zoom, so don't forget them.
I was just going to see if the board will allow me to
Good.
call them.
Yes, sir. Mr. Pine?
First on Zoom is Michael Moore.
Good. Mr. Moore?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, I tried to call you and the number keeps saying that it's not in service. Do you have a different phone number other than this 251-402 number?
Do not have a different number. That should be the same.
I called you on February 24th and March 17th, and both times was told it's not accepting calls. So this case is announced plea or trial, Your Honor. Mr. Moore, did you want to take the state's offer, or are we going to trial?
What is the offer?
The offer right now is 2 years of probation, which would terminate immediately at 1 year
15 hours of community service, no trespassing at Dan's Pawn Shop. You'd have to do an anti-theft class. The court would reserve jurisdiction for 180 days, meaning if there's restitution, the court would have up to 6 months to have a hearing. And if you dispute the restitution claim, like if they come in and say, you owe us $1,200, and you say, no way, I only owe you $600, we could have a hearing within 6 months where the judge, all he would do is determine what the appropriate dollar amount of restitution is. If you contest the restitution amount, it does not affect the rest of the sentence. It's literally just a hearing to determine how much you owe the victims in the case. The state would agree to a withhold of adjudication, meaning you would, long term, you would not be a convicted felon in the state of Florida. If you go somewhere else, I don't know how they might treat this, but within the state of Florida, you're not a convicted felon.
All right.
Did you want to accept that, or?
Would that affect me living in Alabama? Would I be able to transfer whatever probation from Florida, because I'm a resident in Alabama? Would I be able to?
Well, the answer to your question really is, were you an Alabama resident in June of 2017? Because that's the offense date.
No, I was not. No.
So I believe that you would have to come down here.
He's got to be here, and he cannot be in the state of Alabama while the transfer is pending.
So, Mr. Moore, basically what the answer to that question is, unfortunately, no. You would have to essentially move back to the state of Florida and then start the transfer paperwork process, which can take up to a month and a half. It sounds like you're willing to enter some kind of an agreement with the state, but it's going to be the residency situation. Is that fair to say? That's going to be the holdup?
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing. I mean, I just live in Mobile, Alabama now. I'm not over there.
Probation, what about the possibilities of travel?
No, Your Honor, they have to live in the state they're supervised.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like Mr. Moore would be open to a plea as long as we can avoid having to have him move back down. I just requested Mr. Gomez to consider a plea to a misdemeanor so that it could be done by phone. And he's not in a position to say yes or no at this point. Given the fact that we've made progress, unfortunately, in the well, but we are moving toward a resolution here. I don't know how the court wants to handle this. If the court wants to put it on Thursday or
yes, sir.
Continue it.
Mr. Moore, I want you here physically on Thursday at 9 o'clock. Talk to Mr. Kleins. If it's not resolved on Thursday, then I'm going to be looking at it going to trial either next week or the week after that. So Thursday, 9 o'clock here, I would get in touch with Mr. Kleins before that date, talk to him, make sure you understand everything. Give him a different number if he can't get through to the number that he's got for you.
I will give him a backup number if that's the case. It's weird because I'm on that number right now.
The last four of that number is 4970, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you give me a backup? I'm going to call you this afternoon.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
What's the backup number?
It will be, 1 second here. It will be 251.
So please be looking for my phone call, okay? All right.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe that's Sarah McLaughlin. I don't know if she's in front of the camera.
There she is.
So, Your Honor, this is Ms. McLaughlin. I did talk to her last week, and in talking with her, Ms. McLaughlin indicated that she is on 5 weeks of bed rest right now for a medical condition. I can tell the court when I did talk to her, she did seem, I don't want to say she wasn't in the presence of all of her faculties, but she did seem like she was in some kind of physical pain. The case was announced plea or trial. Ms. McLaughlin would ask the court to continue this one cycle. There is a misdemeanor offer in this file. I'll defer to the court how the court wants to handle it, but I mean, if the court wants to ask Ms. McLaughlin any questions about her medical conditions, I don't have any independent proof that she's on bed rest or anything, but she did sound like she was having some medical issues when I talked to her.
Mr. Gomez, what would you like? Do you want me to take some testimony from Ms. McLaughlin? Or since there's a misdemeanor offer, do you just read? God bless you.
I think given just the number of cases that I have, I would have no objection to a continuance in this case if we wanted to, and see if we can resolve it with that misdemeanor offer prior to that date, and then we can make sure that we will resolve it next cycle regardless.
Okay, so I'm sorry, you want it for Thursday or just continue?
Just continue it.
Okay. Ms. McLaughlin, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
So stay in touch with Mr. Klein. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Here, next I have Jeremy Gorman.
This is Mr. Lormond appearing by Zoom. Jeremy, I sent over the email that I got last week with it looked to me like it was proof of payment in full. I don't think the state's in a position to do anything at this point. So all I can do is say, you're gonna have to be in court on Thursday morning.
Yes, sir.
And if the state dismisses it before Thursday, because he is living in Louisiana.
No, I'll look at it.
So, Jeremy, if it gets dismissed before Thursday, my office will contact you so you don't come over here for no reason. But if it's but if it's not dismissed and you have to be physically here in court at 9 o'clock Thursday morning, this Thursday, March 23rd.
Okay. I'll make a note of it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lorman. I'll see you Thursday unless your case is dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. You too.
And then I believe
we've had somebody that's been bouncing in and out on an iPhone, but I don't know.
This might be Darby Boudreaux. I know in the past she showed up as Darby's iPhone. So.
Hello, whoever's on the iPhone, if you'll please unmute your microphone. Whoever's on the iPhone, if you'll unmute it. There you go. We can't hear you yet. Yes, sir. We still can't hear you. If you can unmute your mic. Your microphone's still muted. We can't hear you. If you're getting asked to unmute, I don't know if that helps you. Do we have a telephone number? For just that phone? It's 850.
Oh, for this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. 651.
You heard like a 609 number that goes directly to that?
No, sir.
Okay. Just lost him again. So on the iPhone, if you can hear me, if you just call just a landline, 850-651-4700, and it's extension 1887. So that's 850-651-4700. Okay. The other folks that are in the gallery? Good. Thank you, Austin.
Ms. Phillips?
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Phillips at 21 CF 2816. He's got 3 other cases that were not announced to clear trial. This is 2815, 2831, and 1002, 22 CF 1002. We remain ready for trial in the 2816 case.
Okay, to the state.
Your Honor, the state's going to have to request a continuance on this. There are 2 witnesses and 1 officer. One of the officers was out of state, and we're working on trying to locate him. But there was one particular witness that we definitely need. And the other one is going to be an expert witness that is actually unavailable for one of the weeks of trial. And so I think, given that we can't locate one of the main witnesses, this is in relation to a grand theft, we definitely need that witness. And so we would request a 1-second continuance until 5/8 with the idea that we would have a trial next September.
Speaking with Mr. Phillips, Your Honor, he's not going to object to that as long as we can hopefully get something resolved here by 5/8. So,
Mr. Phillips, I'll see you back here no later than May 8th. If your attorney wants to set a hearing before that date, I'll see you then. Thank you, sir.
Next is Stewart, Harper Stewart.
Judge, this is Parker Lee Stewart before the court in 22 CF 2988. Since Your Honor saw us at pretrial, we have had the opportunity to sit down and discuss this case. I've been able to get more discovery. We are going to be requesting a continuance based on Mr. Stewart wanting me to go forward and doing depositions and seeing if we have any motions or pretrial motions we can file.
Okay. Mr. Stewart, you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here no later than May 8th, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. You got it? Is the lady in the gallery, is she here for Mr. Stewart? Mr. Stewart, if you don't mind acknowledging the lady in the gallery, she's been here all day for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Good. Thank you, sir.
I love you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Did you know we're open on Sundays? Yeah, since February, probably one of the best kept secrets in Crestview, we're open on Sundays from 10 until 3 p.m.
Good, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, sir.
Thank you, Alan.
Your Honor, this is Dana Nelson, and we remain ready for trial in 22 CF 1855.
Okay.
I did give a copy yesterday of Ms. Nelson's discovery to her. The only thing I would ask is if the court, if we're going to set this for trial, that this take place the middle of next week or later in the week or maybe the second week, because I'm coming off. We're ready to go, Your Honor, and I know Ms. Nelson is eager to look forward to this.
Okay. So to the state?
Right, Your Honor, I think those dates, later in the week or the second week would be fine.
Okay. You know, and the state's really going to have to try to pull together exactly when.
I know, and I
pieces, but I agree with you. Just if you'll mark down in your thoughts to the state later next week or the week after that. Okay.
I think this might be a good one for like Friday.
Okay, but that was a jury thing, right?
Yeah, that's jury.
So we're picking jury?
No. Remember Thursday is when we schedule the actual trial.
So there's no craziness here. You know this?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to see you at the jail. To see you back.
But I'll be here on Thursday just for us to schedule what days we're going to go.
Ms. Nelson, before Mr. Kleins leaves, is there an offer to Ms. Nelson that the state intends to withdraw on Thursday if Ms. Nelson doesn't agree to it?
There will be, Your Honor. We might make one more final amended offer, but I mean, Scott knows the offer.
The current offer, Your Honor, is 14 months in the court.
Okay.
Mr. Gomez, if you send any, if there's Mr. Collins, please copy me on that in case there's anything to discuss with Mr. Collins.
Good. Ms. Nelson, I'll see you Thursday, and we'll look at going to trial either next week or the week after that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next is Guzman, Arredondo. That's the last name.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Judge, this is Junior Guzman Arredondo, in 23 CF 173 and 21 CF 1012. She was not seen on pretrial, which is how she made it on to docket day. She was at the courthouse for a misdemeanor, and they were transporting her back. I have received a good portion of the discovery at the end of last week, given that I have not received it all and I have not had an opportunity to review it with Ms. Guzman Arredondo. I'm seeking a continuance of the matter at this time in 23 CF 173 and 21 CF 1012, which is I believe, a violation of probation that is tracking along.
Yes, sir. Ms. Guzman Arredondo, do you agree with Mr. McKinney as far as do you understand what he's doing on your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll see you back here no later than May 8th, but if Mr. McKinney wants to set a hearing before that date, I'll see you then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next is Leslie Ray.
Thank you.
Your Honor, while Ms. Ray's present, Mr. Cameron is back in the courtroom.
Good, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, just real quick while we can, because we have them and I do have proof of payment. Actually, can I keep that on file?
Yeah, that's fine. I can picture it.
We're going to be, the state's going to be announcing a dismissal of the case in 4621 CF 2277 upon payment of all the court costs.
Good. Your case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Can you repeat the name for me?
Thank you.
Jacob James Kamen.
Solomon came in 2 million.
Okay, y'all, tell me if there's anything I can do with a hand raised on Zoom.
That's something I've never seen before.
I don't know if you can do that.
I guess they have a
There is
question.
unmuted his mic. Good. So, yes, sir. Okay. Yep, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. If you will call, if you'll, we could see you. Hey, yes, sir, we can. What's your name?
I'm Rosa Peterson. I'm trying to call earlier. I got bad service.
Thanks, Mr. Peterson.
I was trying to be there in virtual, so I had to get on a meeting call because I wrote down about the police report.
Yes, sir, I was handed a note earlier today that said, Roosevelt Peterson Jr. en route 20 minutes away, car broke down, request permission to appear via Zoom.
So, Your Honor, now that I see his face, I have a recollection. I need to get a PTI to this individual. He does have no attorney.
Why don't you speak into the microphone where we can hear you?
I need to get a PTI to Mr. Peterson, and so if we can, we just have a very busy week prepping for trials. If we can set it for the 5-8, and then in between now and that date, I will get Mr. Peterson the PTI. He can get it back to me, and it will fall off the docket.
Okay. Mr. Peterson, so what that means is you need to get in touch with the state, Mr. Gomez, and they're going to offer you a diversion program. So it means that if you complete pretrial intervention, this diversion, then your case is dismissed, okay?
And I have his email. I will email him that sometime in the next 7 minutes.
So the state's going to email you within the next week and get you that paperwork. If for some reason it's not signed by May 8th, then I'll need you to appear back here via Zoom or live if you can on May 8th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Yes, sir, that'll work.
And Your Honor, I believe the KBS was issued. We need to withdraw that KBS.
KPS is withdrawn from Mr. Peterson. So Mr. Peterson, they won't arrest you, but make sure that you stay in touch with the state attorney's office and determine if you want to accept that PTI, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for being so persistent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Judge, this is Leslie Ray, R-A-Y, 22 CF 2513. This is on the docket, plea or continue. And I filed the report of Dr. McDonald, and I filed the defense notice that we would be relying upon insanity at the time of the offense if we were at a trial. As far as we're in plea negotiations at this moment and trying to see if we can reach a resolution for Ms. Ray. I know that she is seeking probation and mental health evaluation, recommended treatment. I don't believe we have that agreement lined up for today. I would request a continuance based on that and ask for leave to bring Ms. Ray back on an earlier docket if we can reach an agreement, especially something that gets her out of jail.
Absolutely. Ms. Ray, that means that I'll see you no later than May 8th. Mr. McKinney can set it, if you've got an agreement, you can set it for Thursday, you can set it for next week, the week after that. Okay? I know you're disappointed. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too.
Tammy Thurston?
No mistake.
Judge, this is Tammy Rochelle Thruston before the court in 22 CF 2952 and 22 CF 166. We have reached an agreement. The agreement calls for an adjudication of guilt, 12.1 months Department of Corrections with credit for time served, concurrent, time served for the misdemeanor in 22 CF 2952, standard court costs, which are $515, $100 VOP fee, total of $250 cost of defense. This agreement will revoke and terminate her probation in 22 CF 1661. May I approach?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. If you'll please state your full name and date of birth.
It's Tammy Rochelle Thruston. My birth is July 27th, 1965.
Ms. Thruston, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you ever been treated for any mental illness or emotional disturbance, or are you suffering from any of those at this time?
I do take psych meds.
Okay. Are they giving those to you in the jail?
No. I'll get them in prison, though.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, Ms. Thruston, if I accept your plea, what are you going to be sentenced to?
12-1.
Okay, where?
Probably at a reception center.
Okay.
That's where I'll probably end up staying, too.
So in jail or in prison?
No, prison.
Okay. Ms. Thruston, do you understand that if I accept your plea, that you're waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
That's on the new case, and that you're waiving your right to basically a judge trial in the violation of probation case?
Yes.
Okay. Did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Very satisfied.
Good. Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Thurston, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty. Your prior supervision is revoked and terminated. You're sentenced to 12.1 months with the Department of Corrections, and that's with credit for all time served. That's on the felony count. Sentenced to time served on the misdemeanor count. All monetary assessments mandated by statute or county ordinance are imposed. That's the court cost. You'll need to pay the total of $250 public defender's fee. Mr. McKinney, does Ms. Thurston want time to pay those after she gets out?
Yes.
She would request a period of time.
Yeah, I'll take it out.
And
I'm on disability, so that'll be cut off when I go to prison, so, and then I have to get it restarted.
Okay, why don't we do 1 year, okay? So if you fail to pay the outstanding financials within 1 year after you get out, then it will go to a civil lien or judgment, okay? You do have 30 days to appeal this judgment and sentence. If you wish to appeal, it must be in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney to represent you for that appeal, one may be appointed for you. Do you understand your appellate rights?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right here, next is Zachary Florence.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Florence. We had announced plea or trial last week, and quite honestly, I should have asked to continue it on the spot. The state was advising Mr. Florence last week that they were not agreeing to a plea to the bench, and that's really what we've been under the impression was going to happen in this particular case. But in order for that to happen, the state has to agree to reduce this to an attempt. In the meantime, on Friday, I got amended discovery of the search warrants and the search warrant affidavits, and I have not had a chance to go over that with Mr. Florence here. I really, really would like a chance to talk to him about, do we have any motions that we may file based on the receipt of this amended discovery? I did not get a chance to do that over the weekend because I was talking to everybody else who has court today. In complete candor, the offer to Mr. Florence right now is 35 years in the department, and we have been proposing time less than that, but certainly over 20. I mean, this is not a situation where we're trying to get probation. So, given the fact that we got the late discovery on Friday, and the fact that the state's offer really changed last week, and I didn't realize it, and it didn't occur to me, as I was becoming aware of what was happening, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this. And then I didn't have the presence of mind to ask to continue it then. So I would ask the court to continue Mr. Florence. He's under the impression, or he's been made clear to him that I intend that this probably would be case number 1 on the May 8th docket for ready to go to trial. But given the fact that we did get this amended discovery, I have an obligation to talk with my client about it to see if there's anything we can do with it. Okay. So,
Mr. Florence, I do remember the confusion a week ago with the state and Mr. Klein's going back and forth. You always have the right to plea straight up. You can say, I want to plead to the judge, I'm admitting it, and then the court sentences you to whatever I think is fair. But that's no agreement with the state, so you could be sentenced up to the maximum, you could be sentenced up to anything. So I understand that confusion, but I didn't want you, Mr. Klein said something like, so therefore we can't plead to the bench, to the court. You can always do that. I think what he meant was, there's no way we're going to do that without some kind of agreement with the state on the ceiling. But I just wanted to make that clear.
This is one of these cases, a capital sexual battery count, so I can't plead the bench unless he's willing to take a life sentence. So that's what I meant when I said we would need the state to agree to something just to even enable a plea to the bench.
Gotcha. Okay. Mr. Florence, it's up to you what you want to do. If Mr. Klein's is recommending that we continue it until May 8th, where he can go through that discovery and then go through it with you, do you agree to that?
That's fine.
Okay. I'll see you back here on May 8th. Thank you, sir.
Talk to you at the jail.
Marcus Lovett.
Zach, I'll come talk to you at the jail as soon as I'm clear to these trials.
Yeah, tell me when you talk about the Lord's discovery.
Hello, Mr. Lovett. Good. How are you?
Your Honor, Mr. Gomez is checking on to see whether Mr. Lovett is indeed under this sentence. We both know he is, and I'm sure Mr. Gomez does, but he needs to confirm that. He's asking, I'll pass it over to Mr. Gomez here.
I just need to make sure that he has this sentence, because the idea is that he's already been sentenced on this case at the federal level. once I can confirm that and make sure that I've run everything through the proper channels, this will likely be a dismissal. I just need some time to get that done, and we're very much focused on trials for the next couple of weeks. So if we could set it for May 8th, it should be off the docket by then.
Okay. I just think about things, Mr. Lovett, from your perspective. So to the attorneys, if Mr. Lovett, he's going to remain in the Okaloosa County Jail versus federal prison while he's waiting this?
It appears that way, Your Honor, until I can get something resolved.
Will he still get the same amount of game time and anything else?
I'm not entirely sure, and it hadn't occurred to me until you just asked that question. If we might maybe ask for file a bond motion to get an ROR bond so we can be taken into federal custody, because I know the federal government will come get him. He's under a sentence. Like, he's not just going to be let out of the jail. So that's something I'll talk with Mr. Lovett about, and if we get some kind of agreed upon stipulated bond motion to get him over into federal custody while this is pending, we'll go ahead and do that as quick as we can.
Mr. Lovett, I just think about things from your perspective, state also in your perspective. The housing may be a heck of a lot better or worse at the federal level. You may say, I'd rather stay in Okaloosa, so talk to Mr. Kleins and, let him know what your thoughts are. Okay?
Your Honor, I appreciate you bringing that up, but it's just never even occurred to me. I would expect to see Mr. Lovett on a bond motion in the month of April.
Okay. I'll see you no later than May 8th, but if your attorney files a motion before that, I'll see you at that hearing. Thank you, sir.
Next is Paul Martinez.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is Paul Martinez. He was announced plea or continue. We are waiting Dr. McDonald to do a mitigation evaluation for Mr. Martinez, and one of the officers didn't show in the new law violation we have set for Deborah. I talked with Mr. Gomez, and Mr. Gomez is considering, we don't have an answer yet, but Mr. Martinez may be possible for drug court or some kind of a treatment program. That's what we've been trying to get. So we'd ask for a one-cycle continuance. If this gets advanced on the docket, it'll be for an early plea.
Okay. Mr. Martinez, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll see you back here no later than May 8th, but hopefully I'll see you before then.
Hopefully so, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Matthew Midley. Midley.
Midley. Thank you.
This is Matthew Midling, Your Honor, and Mr. Midling is ready for trial.
Okay. Mr. Midling, that means that I'll see you on Thursday. We'll figure out exactly when you're going to go to trial, either next week or the week after that. Does the state have an offer to Mr. Midling that you intend to withdraw if he doesn't accept it on Thursday?
Yes, Your Honor, right now it's a pretty steep offer. We'll revoke that on Thursday and we'll leave it open. We are in the process, though, of trying to work through this, so we're hoping to have a good result.
Okay. Mr. Midling, I'll see you Thursday, okay? Thank you, sir.
Next is Darren Patton. Mr. Patton.
Hello, Mr. Patton.
Will you put him in the attorney's room? Is that possible to talk to Mr. Midling? Your Honor, this is Mr. Patton. We have proposed some straight jail time for Mr. Patton. The state has not accepted that proposal just yet. It would entail some rather unique situations of sentencing Mr. Patton as a youthful offender, probably to some jail time as a condition of probation. The problem is he's got a probation offer here, but he's got a hold out of Pinellas County, and his concern is he doesn't want to plead a probation here and then get taken down there with no transportation to get back up here, which then would precipitate an absconding charge. So all we can do right now is ask to continue Mr. Patton's case. You want to take the original offer?
Well, Mr. Patton has indicated he would like to sign the original offer and take his chances with the probation situation. If I could just pass this to have this written up and get it back to him.
I don't know how long we have before.
Or if we could bring Mr. Patton back on for Thursday, it would just be Mr. McKinney announcing the plea.
And the offer is he stays in jail?
Well, so we've been throwing straight jail sentences at the state.
Okay.
The original offer in the discovery was 6 months county jail as a condition of 2 years of probation. He's already been in jail for 6 months. He was arrested.
Okay. Do you need to talk to Mr. Patton, or do you want to do it verbally?
If he wants to just enter the plea right now, I don't have the offer sheet because I gave him the discovery at the jail. So
what's the offer from the state? Mr. Patton, I don't want you to stay in jail any longer than you have to.
It's with that adjudication. Could you do the 2 years probation as a, what's it? Would you consider the 2 years probation as a youthful offender? So we can keep this withhold? The problem is, Your Honor, is the fleeing statute requires an adjudication. There's case law that says if somebody's sentenced as a youthful offender, that's the legislature's way of saying that supersedes the requirement for the adjudication, and they can get withholds of adjudication if they're sentenced as a youthful offender.
I want more time. I would kind of want more time to look at this, to be honest.
Can you get the answer to that, Mr. Gomez, to Mr. McKinney or Mr. Kleins before Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Patton, based on that, you probably want to wait until Thursday because an adjudication of guilt versus not may be something really big for the rest of your life. Okay, so I'll see you back here on Thursday morning. So it's continuing until May, and you can have it, please. Thank you, sir.
Next is Randall Pendergraft.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Pendergraft. We left Mr. Pendergraft on this week to try to get contact with the alleged victim in this case. My investigators actually made contact with somebody at one of the homeless shelters who indicated that this person knew who the alleged victim was, but we have not made that contact yet. I talked with Mr. Gomez this morning and proposed 120 days. The state's not in a position to agree to that. I talked to Mr. Pendergraft at the jail yesterday and told him if we don't get a resolution today, my intent would be to set this for trial on the May 8th document. So all I can do is ask for a continuance. If there's any sort of an early resolution, then we will certainly advance it on the docket.
Mr. Pendergraft, I can tell that you wish things were resolved.
Yes, sir, yes. I mean, I've just been on the street for a while and it's two individuals drinking, that's it.
Okay, don't say anything about your case, but Mr. Pendergraft, so I agree with Mr. Klein. The only thing he can make the state do, and I can too, is set it for trial. So I'll see you back here no later than May 8th. We'll be looking at going to trial at the end of that month.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next is Brett Phillips.
This is Mr. Brett Phillips for the court. Mr. Phillips is here in 21 CF 2488. I wanted him brought in person to the courtroom today so that we could all be on the same page of what's going on related to his case. I indicated that I was going to be requesting a continuance today, so today's the status. There is an expert that we had retained related to digital forensics that we've had to pivot and start looking for other digital forensic experts, which is the last piece of the puzzle related to whether or not his cases are right for trial or not. I've had those discussions with Mr. Phillips, explained the pros and cons of us having an expert as opposed to us not having an expert, and how that would affect us at a jury trial as we try to bring this thing to a head as we get to the May 8th court date. If we're in a position where we don't have an expert, then we can have a discussion with the court of whether or not we believe we're ready for trial based on what we have, what we are seeking, and we have pivoted towards a second expert trying to get an opinion to see if we can remedy the case.
Mr. Phillips, I heard Mr. McKinney's frustration last week about that expert, and maybe heard it before that. So when he started talking, I certainly remember all that. Do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'll see you back here on May 8th. Hopefully by that time, Mr. McKinney will have secured a second expert, and that expert will have done some work on your case.
I'm hopeful to.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next is Christian Rivas.
Judge, Mr. Rivas is approaching 22 CF 826 and 22 CF 1582. And we have been telling the court we've been waiting on a Phoenix House answer. We still don't have that answer. At this point, we're kind of pivoting in what we're negotiating here with the state. So we're going to request a continuance, but we're going to look at other options as far as resolving this case other than Phoenix House. So I'm requesting a continuance, but I'd like to bring this back onto an earlier docket, probably on April 10th for change of plea and try to get this thing resolved.
Okay. Mr. Rivas, do you agree with Mr. McKinney? Do you understand what he's doing?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here no later than May 8th, but hopefully I'll see you in early April.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next is Destin Russell.
May we call Mr. Russell or call him later in the docket? I know we have family coming to see him.
Not much doctor left.
Yeah, like.
Okay. I can.
You can filibuster?
Next is Salerno.
Thank you.
Judge, this is Mr. Salerno before the court in 22 CF 772 and 23 CF 300. Judge, a discussion with Mr. Salerno in 22 CF 772, and he has a new case 23 CF 300, which is the dealing stolen property. I've been advised by the state that there's approximately about a $12,000 restitution amount that we've been trying to hammer out details to see if this is a probation agreement for today. Is the state in a position to make an offer for probation and reserve over the issue of restitution?
Not at this point.
So if Mr. Salerno were to enter a plea today, it would be to a period of probation, including the $12,000 amount restitution?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to do it? Sure. Okay. And Ms. Davis, the terms for probation, is that something we need to discuss and bring Mr. Salerno back, or is that something we can discuss? Because I've spoken with Mr. Salerno at the jail. I believe he's going to move forward and enter a plea for probation.
My files are not exactly in alphabetical order, and I've been messing with them all.
Automatic early termination. This is a 5-year probation sentence. 5 years sounds like a long time.
While Mr. McKinney is talking to Mr. Salerno about that,
Is that something to do?
do you all want to take a break and then we come back in 10 minutes or so and finish up the docket, or do you want to break for lunch? What would you like to do?
Mr. Kinney's doing a good job with his filibustering, we promise.
Judge, I can tell you I do have a case where I expect my victims to be here at 2 for a plea. Given the way we're going last Monday, I thought 2 p.m. we'd still have a docket going. So I just want to make the court aware of that. But beyond that, whatever the court prefer.
So you vote for lunch break?
I vote for a lunch break, yes, Judge.
Mr. McKinney, knowing that we're gonna, sounds like we're gonna be taking a lunch break, do you want to pass on Mr. Salerno and call him back?
Given the amount of restitution, I'd like to put it on paper, simply so that he can have a written plea agreement, we can have one for the file.
Okay.
He'd still be getting out on probation today.
So I'll see you this afternoon. I'll see you a little later this afternoon. I'll put you back and bring you back.
And then come back right after lunch, and then make it 4. Okay?
Mr. Kleins, will you approach?
Yes, sir.